world. Nissim Black, Rafshalim Arush, Gedalia Fenster, many more people who are the biggest influences, the biggest sort of names in the Jewish world. Eli has what to do with them. Eli himself is first is his family, but also is someone who has an unbelievable energy, and his last mission is to connect Jewish people to each other and to God.
Beautiful.
So he's going to tell us, I suppose, and his son has been in Gaza and Lebanon the last 11 months. So he's really feeling it on the front lines right now. He put stuff out he's been involved in the Breadlive channels, Breadlive Torah, not so much anymore, but putting content out to thousands and thousands of people daily. Now he's doing more of his own channels, but influential, and so it's great to have Eli with us.
Thank you so much,
Some
Annie.
words
And the man.
we do some songs and back and forth.
Brilliant. What a beautiful, beautiful home. And you can, the sound of the rain, the sound of the, the cooking. Even better. That's the Jewish rain. Yeah, the Jewish rain is cooking. Anyway, so we're all together online. I don't really try to put anyone else in the video in case they don't want to be. Generally try to keep things in a safe zone, but I generally don't. So excuse me if I say anything that's a little bit controversial. You can just blame Yoni and it's fine. But on a serious note, I had the pleasure of growing up in London, and I feel blessed whenever I come back here because I had a blessed life. I grew up in the music world, entertainment world. The home I come back to is the same home. Not everyone has that. I'm 44 now, so I grew up northwest London, more traditional, but not traditional, if you know what I mean, secular, I'd say. And my family were in the music business, so it was a good teenage life, entertainment world. I got involved myself, running clubs, and there was a lot of socializing and good times. Thankfully, all my core friends I'm still very close with from those times, so that's another blessing to be able to have the same friends from youth. And even better, my wife now, my soulmate, who I met in North London. And Yoni's his wife is my wife's cousin, so I met her shul hopping on Yom Kippur, which was about as much shul as I did, going around the shuls, but I didn't even remember going in much. But it was a very social experience, and we met then, and we met again in David Lloyd. And the next time, it was to be in the Holy Land, in Eretz Yisrael. We both ended up in the programs. I went to Sameach, she went to Neves Yerushalayim. It was a very similar process a lot of people used to do back in those days, of when you came to Israel, where you went. And we both did that sort of typical path, but it wasn't so typical because I was giving up a lot here, in those times.
Can you tell that your father and your uncle made lave?
Yes. So to just give a bit of people have heard it a lot, but Live Aid, for example, if you go on Netflix and watch the George Michael documentary, you'll see my uncle there. Any famous story or historical musical movement in the 60s, 70s, 80s, was my family were involved in some way, especially in Europe and England. And it continued into other parts of the entertainment industry. I was just talking to my dad about Vince McMahon. I don't know if anyone follows WWF or E, Hulk Hogan, all that stuff. So if you Google my father, Martin Goldsmith, Hulk Hogan, they're holding each other's arms and they're saying, "My holy brother." They're real connection. So I grew up in the wrestling, scenes of going to these amazing events with British Bulldog and Bret the Hart and Undertaker, and all the big names of those times, and Hulk. And at the same time, I was VIP at the best shows on earth, with the best, greatest talent and stars, and everyone wanted to be friends because I could get them in. Even this trip, funny enough, my son, he's my youngest son, he's never been to England, never flown here, just don't know why it didn't work out, but it just didn't till now. So I was very adamant that this trip had to be, even though we're in a war, and my son, just to jump all the way ahead, my oldest son, has been fighting since the beginning of war, October the 7th. That was a crazy day, and we're going to talk about that second part. That's coming attractions. We're going to bring a little bit of footage for anyone who has patience to see unseen footage that nobody's seen. I'm not going to put it online. That's when the cameras will have to, go away. And it's crazy what he's gone through as my oldest son, fighting in Gaza, and that was 11 months. And now a month in Lebanon, and then there was a little break, and now he's on his fourth mission now in Lebanon as we're speaking here tonight. So we'll have him in mind. Please, everybody, Baruch Yitzhak Ben Masha, my oldest son. He's leading in a machine gunist, like it's a pretty serious position in Paratrooper Unit 101, and he's all the way inside Lebanon, and serious stuff going on there.
My brother went back into that also.
Oh, wow. Yeah, there's serious stuff, and they need all the support in every way, like spiritually, emotionally, mentally, physically. There's so much kindness, so much amazing stuff going on to support the soldiers. So we'll have them in mind tonight. It's a big deal that I came anyway to London, even though he's there. My wife couldn't come because of that. She just can't leave the country until he's safe. That you can understand that. Anyway, so I met my wife in London, and that was amazing. That already at 14, I already was friends with my soulmate to be. And I didn't know that, but as we got more and more close and connected, so there was a lot of stages, before that, which I have like a intimacy course I do for World B'nai Akiva, and I've told some of my wild stories there online. I don't mind people listening. It's pretty wild, like some of the parties I went to. I'll just throw out one name, Prince William's birthday party. He was my age, and he is my age, and I went with someone who we mentioned earlier. Yeah, I'm not saying his name online. I never say it. But he was there with me, and we were like two. I'll be honest, I have a guy who relates. We were two good-looking guys who were confident and able to go where we want and get what we want, kind of thing. So we ended up at Prince William's party, and that was one of the stories. And there's a continuation. Obviously, it wasn't just just Prince William. There was someone else there as well. But we'll get into that. You can listen to, as I said, the intimacy flow, and it's a whole deep story about those kind of experiences. But why am I saying it over? Because my journey is relevant, because a lot of people in London have, thank God, have got a good life. We're a little bit more concerned than we ever about the safety and the future. There's a lot more anxiety. We've got technology surrounding us, literally, and we're all going through things that when I was a kid we didn't have. We didn't have the whole internet experience when we socialized. It was different. It was face to face. It was personal, and it was private. Maybe a picture here or two, but that was it. And one of the things I'm trying to help the guys in Israel now that I teach in World B'nai Akiva and other such programs is how important it is to connect face to face, ponim, as we say, and to have that intimate connection with people, like in a real way. And that's something which has really helped me, like in my journey. I probably wouldn't be sitting here connected to God or to Torah mitzvahs if I hadn't met people who I really could connect with. And that's one of the blessings of being in a home like this, where there are people who are giving time and enabling all of us to connect in a deep way. Like I could sit here and come join you guys. They're making it happen for us all. And that was a big part of my journey, meeting like the Chabad rabbi in university, or going to Israel and ending up in some really cool programs. I'm going up to Sfat and with a bunch of hippies up there and having really cool experiences. And those kind of things that open up my heart, and meeting souls who are very open souls who would talk about real things. And it really changed my feeling in life, because growing up in the music business, as cool as it seems, but when you behind the scenes, it has improved a little bit, because there's only so many rock and roll stars can die young from drugs and abuse from their management and everything else, that eventually we start to see some sort of correction, even in that world. But it's a pretty dark business, like behind the scenes. And a lot of the people, weren't role models for me. So I was looking for role models. They were role models in talent, but they weren't role models in lifestyle. And that's what I was looking for, like the best lifestyle. And it had to include spirituality. And Israel was where my heart just opened. and that's what we're going to talk about. The second part, like what is Eretz Yisrael? Why is my son literally every day giving up his life to protect us in Eretz Yisrael and prevent terror from spreading from Eretz Yisrael and the borders around it to the rest of the world? We'll talk about that in the second part, but I don't mind, just before I finish off, has anyone got a question about anything I've said? Like, I always enjoy feedback. We're in an interactive generation, so anyone has a feeling like, I mentioned a bit about, finding a soulmate. I mentioned finding my journey. I mentioned being in the music world. Like right now, I have a long list of amazing artists like Alex Clare, Sholem Lema, Listen Black, like people I'm working with. I love their talents, their souls. Crying in the car when I played Sholem Lema's music to my mother because I saw how much it affected her in a good way. And sometimes the only way you can get through to someone is through creativity and through music, through art, through soulful connection, and just playing some of his songs. And it wasn't even the Jewish ones. It was like, the Aria Grande or those kind of songs that he's covered, Piano Man, like classic songs. And he sings it with such soul. And I watched my mother get affected in the car. And it was just so inspiring, like seeing someone who generally doesn't connect to my path through music, connect, especially when it's your mother, somebody you really love. So that for me is one of the reasons why I'm in this space of working with creatives, speakers, musicians, artists, because I see the effect it has. Every event that can be a bit behind the scenes, a logistical nightmare in some sense, but it always works out, thank God, in a good way. And when it actually takes place, it lifts up everyone around. And that, going to Live Aid as a kid and seeing everyone together, with their arms in the air, if you've ever seen Bohemian Rhapsody, but I was actually there. All we need is Radio Gaga, that moment of just everyone together. And it wasn't just in the UK, it was the whole world because it was streamed. It was the first streaming in history. They were never done before. And then Phil Collins, my uncle organised, he should be able to get in those days they had those fast planes, what are they called again? Thank you, Concords. And they concorded him and it got him to New York in time to do a show there. And if you watch the two videos of him performing in London, you should do this. And Phil Collins performing in New York and Philly, I think it was actually Philly, sorry. And it was just out this world, those performances. So once again, if anyone has any questions before I finish off, because a question can really open up my heart to something that's on your mind right now.
I think I just want to say one thing before we do.
Yeah.
What I take from that, from any story,
Yeah.
the beauty of someone who starts out like in the music industry. He didn't mention the whole journey. Then going to Israel, finding himself connecting to something, that he wasn't necessarily connected with before, Torah and going to yeshiva and spending all that time.
Right.
And then coming back to the same industry, but in a very different way. Like the music industry, no longer with Queen,
No.
but with Listen Black and with Alex Clare and all the Jewish artists and this. I heard once from someone that you have to be Jewish and you have to be Jewish.
Jewish?
Jewish and Jewish.
I like the Jewish part.
Yeah, you gotta be
Be yourself.
to
Yeah.
Judaism, but you gotta find your own path. And for you, it's clearly in the music industry. So it's amazing how you.
And finding that balance. That's beautiful. What Yoni just said. I think that's the biggest celebration I have right now. Is I've done the impossible. I've moved from Yerushalayim, Haredi, Hasidish world to Efrat, which is more Dati, Mizrahi, and I've able, with God's help and my family's, support, to incorporate our life in a whole different community, and still be connected to the other community, and still be connected to my secular community, like bridging gaps in Israel, and having a son in the army has been a big part of that, and. There's amazing opportunities for the new generation, you guys, to bring a new light, a new energy, and bring a new feeling of unity, and especially when you got beautiful teachers like you have here. We'll get to the Q&A later.
One matter of unity, but togetherness, maybe we could sing a song, a song that we've been singing a lot in the last year. And the realization that we're all connected, the realization that even if we're living in different parts of the world, we're all connected, we're all one.
Acheinu, Kol Beis Yisrael. Acheinu, Kol Beis Yisrael. Imasa, Yashia, Giving Bayam.
I've been a good November for you.
Acheinu, Kol Beis Yisrael. Acheinu, Kol Beis Yisrael. Sulivasa, Umashia, Ben Bayam, Ben Bayam, Akem Yirachem, Akem Yirachem, Zaya, Acheinu, Kol Beis Yisrael, Sunim Zaya, Shivya, Omdim Bein Bayam, Yamasa. Hakam Yirachem, Someone asked me if I'm concerned about the cold here, and I said, not at all. Like, it's so warm in the houses, so everywhere I go, I just feel warm. You know, being around such great people, and you know, literally the heating's way better here than in Frat. That's for sure. So when it gets cold there, even though it doesn't get as cold, but when you don't have as good heating, you know, there's pluses, you know. But I still think you should move to Israel. So I have the merit to be in a beautiful community. It's called Shirat David. And Rav Shlomo Katz is the head of the community. I don't know if you heard of Eitan Katz, Shlomo Katz. I work with Eitan Katz through the booking. And Shlomo Katz is someone who's become a rabbi for me. I have the merit to hear beautiful Torah. But it's not just about the Torah, it's about he's experiencing what we're experiencing in this crazy year and a half and longer. I mean, it's almost a year and a half, a year and a few months. And he's totally with us in this whole journey in the deepest way. And it's really affected my life and my family's life to hear someone who can be so supportive. Like, I don't want to say not good about any other people, any other way, but if I would have probably been anywhere else, I wouldn't have felt as the amount of support I got having a son in the army. Because being a parent of a soldier, every night, not knowing if there's a knock, a phone call, like every day, hoping to hear any good news. They don't have their phones. You get that? They don't have their phones. Their phones get taken away, and then they come back. And some of the stories he's told me, it's overwhelming. Like what he's gone through. Some of the videos I have here, the footage of capturing terrorists, of killing terrorists, of he's a young 20-year-old guy. It's a different life. Someone who's had to face war for more than a year, and having a rabbi who gets it, who's real about it, and a community that gets it and is real about it. It's the best support. That's one of the things that community is community. You need to be around people. Like, this is beautiful. You have a community. Sometimes, I don't know, anyone's lived in Jerusalem and Israel? Sometimes it's such a big, beautiful place, and it's so holy and amazing, but you don't always feel the community necessarily, because it's just so much movement, so much going on. I don't know if it's like that in London. Probably not, because you're a bit more tight. But it's amazing when you have a community in Israel. It's like a blessing beyond. And Rav Shlomo's doing that. He's really built that beautiful energy, and it's a lot of energy from Shlomo Kalibach. It's a lot of energy from Ginsburg. We learned this book. It's called Tikkun Medina, and it teaches us that it's not just about coming to Eretz Yisrael because it's an amazing thing to make Aliyah, but to actually fix Eretz Yisrael. Not that the land needs fixing, but the way we're living there needs to be fixed. Like you can hear, like there's issues, but the good part is that we have the tools to actually do something about it, in at least within our community and at least within our homes, and hopefully that light will shine out to the rest of the country and to the people. And right now, the soldiers, they're the biggest teachers. I mean, what my son's been doing, what my son's friends, his units, what they've been doing for our people is the ultimate lesson of self-sacrifice. And they haven't even started their life yet, and they're willing to give it up. And that's how they speak. They're being forced. That's how they speak. They speak with self-sacrifice. Amazing thing. It's a whole new generation of soldiers and people that have gone through war. It's changed the whole reality of Israel this last year, and so being in a place where you get support has been amazing. Once again, anyone has a question or anything before we do another song? Yeah.
This is, I guess, more on the music side.
Yeah.
So recently, obviously, there's been a lot of bad press, let's say, especially regarding the P. Diddy case. And
Yeah, sure. Oh, good. I'm glad you brought him up, by the way.
Covering their tracks, let's say, supporting.
Can I tell you why I'm glad I brought him up? From all the people who could have brought up. I mean, it's pretty famous, but I had the merit to be like Shine's PA. Anyone heard of Shine Poe? Shine Poe came to Eretz Yisrael around, I think it was around 10 years ago or something, maybe a bit longer. And he was in Diddy's label, and he was like the next B.I.G. Anyone know who these names are? I'm not just like talking to the wall. Notorious B.I.G. No one ever listened to hip hop.
Was he Biggie?
Yeah, he was like the next Biggie. Biggie Smalls. Yeah, he had the voice. If you check out I wouldn't check out his music, but if you did, it's like the next Biggie Smalls. So he came to Eretz after 10 years in prison. Why did he end up in prison? Because Diddy was being shot at, and he was with J-Lo and all that crowd, and Diddy needed someone to save him that moment. So Shine came forth and protected them, and almost did manslaughter, and ended up in maybe did. I don't think they died, but they almost did. And he ended up 10 years in prison from that. Where did he come out of prison to after first ending up in Mexico and Belize, I think, which is where he's now almost going to be the prime minister probably there. He's the opposition, the head of the opposition now. He came to Eretz Yisrael and tried to become like full-on Orthodox and I was the guy who ended up being his PA. So the Rolling Stones magazine, and first New York Times then did an article, and I was in that article. So Rolling Stones saw that, and this was just recently, they got in touch with me, and they interviewed me, and everything that I said positive, they ignored. They only one slight, maybe you could take it negative comment, that's all they put in the article. So don't trust the media, especially mainstream media, at all. I'm totally into independent media, like podcasts, all that stuff, not the mainstream. Anyway, so to come back to Diddy, so now Shine is dealing with that whole story because anyone who's connected to that whole story. And one of the problems it shows is how much darkness there is in Hollywood, in media, in music, and it gives us responsibility in the Jewish world even more to share more light and to be the right role models. That's one of the biggest things I've done in my Unity Bookings. That's the name of my company, Unity Bookings. And it's part of Unity Inspires projects, is to work with people that bring light, that are role models. I told you that's one of the reasons why I left that world, because I wanted to find role models. So for me, one of the most inspirational moments was managing Listen Black for a while and bringing him to all these communities and experiencing the effect. Now I do it sitting in Israel. I don't even have to go because I'm coordinating it. But back then, I was on tour and I saw the effect of like doing a Times Square. I was the DJ, you can Google it, C-Teen, and Listen went up and did the most amazing show. I was the manager as well, but they, why not? I DJ'd his tracks, not so hard. And it was an amazing experience seeing thousands of teenagers going crazy in Times Square and the Rebbe on the wall of Times Square and the Kotel and everyone singing Am Yisrael Chai. And you can see it. So it's a very publicized event now. It's just got bigger and bigger. So those moments are really powerful, and it shows that we can transform some of that darkness in the music business, which is very real, and we can transform it through being the right way of doing it, and that's a big thing. Chaim. Yeah, the lights in the garden are beautiful. Good touch. Yeah, it really works. Yeah.
B'nascha b'leilos
pascha b'leilos, tov torodos l'Hashem. So I just have to fix one thing from our holy Rabbi Yoni Abadi, and once again, thank you again for hosting, and Rav Rafi, and our Balabayas, and the Rebbitzins, the special holy wives who do so much beyond. We probably don't even know how much they do to give their husbands ability to do this.
And Jay.
Yes. We have to always give thanks to the good people around us and give thanks to Hashem like we just did now. That's a big part of working for Breslov, was all about thanking Hashem. And now I don't work for Breslov, I can actually be more Breslov, because now there's no Nagia, there's no payroll. I just work for Hashem, and I love the fact. So I tell you, I had the merit to sit by I went to Ummah many, many times, but I also had the merit to sit by Rav Shalom Arush week after week, traveling with him, sitting on the plane with him, one of the biggest righteous individuals of our generation, especially in Breslov, and his Masorah is very pure all the way back through the Breslov Tzaddikim, and his personal prayer service of talking to God and building a relationship with God is very profound. It just rubs off on you being around such a holy person. I even had my dad a few times in the studio, and I felt like it was a good influence on him also. And my dad's like coming from this music world, it's like bringing that into a Breslov energy place was very profound. But the concept of having music right now, one of his songs has gone very, very viral. I don't know if any of you have noticed, but the point of the song, and I remember when the rabbi, when I was working there, was talking about it, and it's all about the word emunah. What is emunah? Emunah is a foundation. It's tzaddik v'emunah chayichya. The whole world stands of emunah of amida achas, one pillar, and that is emunah. Emunah, having emunah in God, belief. It's not belief. It's not faith. That's a loose translation. It's having an intrinsic knowledge, a real relationship in the deepest way, just as much as there's tables here, and experiencing God in the most deep, profound way in your life. So the way he translates emunah and explains it, and it's become a song now. It says, emunah is Hashem loves me. Yeah, Hashem is good, and it will get better and better. That's the translation of emunah. Hashem loves me. That means He loves you. Yeah, it's not just He's this God, a powerful force. He loves you. Wants a relationship. It's going to be good. Yeah, it's going to be good, and it's going to get better and better. That's the true understanding of emunah, brought down from Rav Shalom Arush, and it's become a song. People are singing it all around Israel right now. One of my other sons, who's once they all were in the Haredi Hasidic world, he chose himself to go to a Beit Sefer, which is still in the Haredi world, but it's like a Beit Sefer where they give kids a lot of space. And one of the programs they had, and the first year they did it, that I knew about it, they took him on this whole army experience. So this whole week, they had an experience in the army. And part of the beautiful moment that I got videos sent to me was them all singing together. All these young men, like 16-year-olds, who are not ready for the army yet, probably will in another year or two, but they're experiencing it with emunah. They're experiencing, that's a different level of army of the Jewish people, where people have emunah, where they're singing about emunah, they believe that they're doing something righteous and beyond, and it's a different kind of Eretz Yisrael right now. Like everyone's feeling it a little bit, and maybe some more than others. So when you come visit, be open to it. Be open to what's the awakening that's going on, and yeah, so Amunah is a big part of Breslov, and it's all about how do you make Amunah reality by talking to God. It's not enough just believing in your mind and your heart, but to actually talk, have a relationship, speak to your Creator. You have issues, you have challenges, speak, make it real, and have conversations that bring you closer to who you are. You get to know yourself through speaking to God. And it should be done. It doesn't have to be just in Shemona Esrei or personal, in the shul. It can be done in your bed or when you're taking a walk in the cold streets of England. You can talk to God. It doesn't make a difference. You're always talking to God. But the concept is there's special times every day where you just really focus in on that relationship. And that's even the song we just sang, Tov Lahodas. It's not just to thank Hashem. It's also Tov Lavadut, to connect. Let's hear a song.
It's a song that works. So
Yeah.
connect to it in whichever way you want. Some of you might know the tune.
Na 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 hai na 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 hai na 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 hai na 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 hai na 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 hai na 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 hai na 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 hai na 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 hai na na Why not? L'chaim, brother. L'chaim. Cheers. No, you're good, man. Everyone comes when they're supposed to come. That's the whole story. Ellie, Goldsmith. Yours? Nice to meet you, man. Good to meet you, man.
I was in the office, otherwise I would have been here on time.
You're doing good stuff. Ending the week is always like that big hustle,
Sometimes we get risky and it shoots in that.
Fair enough, but this one
This one doesn't. This is what I feel to do now.
It's a beautiful song. Really beautiful song by It's a song actually by someone from Ellie's.
Oh, there we go. Oh, thank you.
It's a beautiful song, beautiful tune by someone that Ellie just mentioned actually, called Eitan Cats.
Oh,
I tend to teach this tune in Poland generally.
he's beautiful.
Have the merit to go together. It's a song which really you'll feel it's got a certain soul to it. Really got a deep soul to it. It's a fast song, but you'll see that it moves you. It really moves you. So as Aurelie said, you've got to be open to it. Be open to the soul of the song, and join in. It's an easy song to learn. There's only 2 parts to it. So once you start getting it, just start singing. The best way to learn a song is to sing it. So once you get it a little bit, start singing it, and you'll get closer and closer to the tune. It goes like this.
Na Wow, beautiful. I really felt like I was like, there's a Verbrengen right now in the frat with Shlomo Katz for the whole community. I'm not there. I just felt like we were there and they were here. Yeah. I tell you what's beautiful. The women there are more on fire than the men. You should know that. They're more on fire for God than the men. They're like totally engaged in singing and all the events. They're like really into it. Yeah. Chaim.
It tastes like it's 60%. Where my head off this stuff.
Look, I do have a lot of footage that I don't know if it fits to show any of it. Should I show some of it? So I'll do my best. If we had one of those plugins, I could just put on a screen or something. But we're going to do it from a distance. Hopefully, it won't come up anything on the computer. Yeah. I mean, it's worth just even seeing from afar. I'll put it above the screen. I don't want people out there to see it. If anyone wants to move around because they can't see it.
Bring in this end of the room so that it's one of
No, I'd rather stand here because I want it but a little bit. There we go. I'll move them down a little bit like this. Oops. Bit down you go. I don't want them to be seen, no. Okay, so. Okay, just to start the story, you just have to imagine, I grew up nice North London lifestyle, cushy, as Del Boy would say. Everything was easy, and it was a different world to what my son's experiencing now in 2024, 25 coming up, and 23 as well, because that's when it all started. I mean, this is just like him walking through. I just took a random video. There's hours and hours. There's hours and hours of video. It's crazy how much footage I have, because DJI. Oh, I need to do the Wi-Fi. Sorry. Carry on. Yeah, speak.
He wants you to speak.
No, I want Yoni. Well, I fixed the Wi-Fi story because I didn't plug this into the Wi-Fi. I didn't get to that. Yeah, were you going to say, Yoni?
About your son. Well, I think Eddie's someone who, I don't know if you can tell, but on Shabbos he wears a shtama, right?
Yeah.
He's what you call a chassid. It's very interesting that his son ends up in the army, in a way, because normally the chassidim children aren't going into the army. So there's a story there in and of itself, and there's an open-mindedness and the parenting skills of Eddie and his wife to be able to say, that as a son who felt like he wanted to go to the army. And no one else in that community necessarily send their kids to the army, because it's just not a done thing. That's someone with payers, his son has payers, and his father's wearing a stramal, and he's going to the army. But it was the right thing for them, and they were brave enough to have the courage to send his kid to send his son to the army, and he's there representing the Hasidim, and fighting with all the rest of the Israeli soldiers.
I mean, I'll tell you, thank you, Yoni. Beautiful. It's exactly what he's saying is true, and it's appreciated. It's really powerful, profound. Say, for example, I got to fill in from the Tolna Rebbes, one of the big Rebbes, and my son put them on hundreds and hundreds of soldiers. We're not Chabad. We're not it's not like my education to get my son to do that. But he himself, because of all the awakening that's going on, we're talking about the most left-wing families who were probably anti the war, and yet they were putting tefillin on, and they were. I've got a video of here, in one of the files of them blowing the shofar, and this is the most left-wing young soldiers who are standing there in the middle of Lebanon during Rosh Hashanah. They found pomegranates, they found honey cake. They found all these things that just what they needed for that time of year, because they couldn't, it wasn't going to be accessible other way. And one of the soldiers brought a chauffeur, one of the higher ups, and he blew it for these real left-wing guys, and they were into it. You see in the video, my son's videoing it. This is a GGI that he has on his right here. We just got a new mount, so it would be much even better quality. For some reason, just in terms of loading with the Wi-Fi and stuff, it's very heavy files. I mean, this one footage that just came up just now, I don't want anyone to see that on there. This definitely can't be seen online. This is a Shabak. You know who Shabak are? No. There's Mossad. You're hearing about Mossad. And then there's Shabak. Shabak are the secret, yeah? You want to say it as Israeli? You're an Israeli? Shabak? Yeah, I'm English. What can you do? So Shabak, they basically are the inner intelligence. There's Mossad is international, and Shabak is they take care of Israel. So one, yeah, exactly. And I've got my 007 top hat on, so I have the permission to talk about this. But the point is that this moment, right at the beginning of the video, you're going to see a terrorist being escorted by Shabak, and my son and his higher up are escorting him. and you can hear the chains on the. And what they had to do in Lebanon was this Lebanon or Gaza? This was Gaza. What they had to do in Gaza, this I think was Jabalia or Khan Yunis. They had to, for this soldier. I don't know why maybe just the Wi-Fi is a bit slow because it's quite big files. So anyway, so he's walking him and he has to be dressed in soldier's clothing because either way, either Jewish soldiers, the Israeli soldiers will kill him or the Hamas will kill him. So they have to sort of disguise him somewhat to get him from where he needed to go to where Shabak need to interrogate him. So I'm having a little problem actually playing the footage for some reason.
Is Wi-Fi connected?
It is connected, very good. Maybe it just needs refreshing. Yeah, there's a lot of big files going on here. Anyway, so the point is this moment is very profound because you're seeing this guy who basically gave information, and now one of my friends in the community, his son, who my son's friends with in the same unit, they ended up both having the merit to be involved in very, very powerful missions of finding all kinds of armaments and tunnels. But the big mission everyone wanted to be was to get hold of Sinawar and to free hostages, the combination. So what happened that moment? So he was. We're just going to look for this file again because it didn't work to have it open. So he was there. So this is in Azza. This is they're talking about throwing rimons, like bombs, grenades, exactly. The guy, someone over there is giving me all the correct words. Thank you. I really appreciate it. So anyway, so one of the stories was, if you saw Sinawar, did you saw the drone footage? Did anyone see that? Yeah. So that's my son's, one of my son's friends. That's one of my best friends in a frat night right now. His son was the one flying that drone, and we spend Shabbat every week. We go around there for Kiddush, and the other day Shlomo Katz came, and you see that they just launched some ream on him. I mean, this whole place is. This is Gaza right now. I mean, this is what they're doing. Oh, that's the terrorist. You see they're escorting him. No one can see him. Everyone can see. See the chains on the feet and his hands. That guy that as part of the step forward, because this was where big information came out of this guy. They interrogate. Shabak interrogate. And how they interrogate is not like how we're talking now. It's pretty heavy, yeah. Okay. So these are pretty powerful moments. Okay. I mean, you have to look at this place. The whole place is just destroyed. Yeah. Guys, you see these buildings. By the way, some of these apartments and buildings are beautiful. Now, this is important information. My son told me this. Very important. Listen. My son told me this. He saw it with his own eyes. Don't believe the media. His own eyes. And my son's a truthful person. Anyone who's met him. He's Ish MS. He only says the truth. I'll show you a picture here. So he was in... here we go. This is him standing on the rooftops in Gaza. He's a machine gunner. He's a very strong boy. Because you have to walk around this. It's a big gun. Thousands of bullets. Negavist, yeah. You're an Israeli man. You know all the terminologies. So he's standing there, and he means business. Like one of the reasons why he ended up in the army, because he was pretty tough on the streets before he ended up in the army. So he was the kind of guy who took out some bad dudes before he went to the army. But in the army, he's built for this. But we will sing it. I just want to tell you one more story. I'm really sorry. I know you're the boss. I just want to end on. I don't want to forget. In the houses, they have endless paraphernalia from Hamas, from Mein Kampf. They teach their children to kill. The stories, books that we get, Jewish books about putting, tzitzis on, or I don't know what, like learning a nursery rhyme they're learning how to kill, how to hold a gun. They're training them from birth, and it's scary to see with your own eyes. They also don't live up to their religion. There's like all kinds of proofs in the houses that they're living not the highest lifestyle. And it's not that it makes my son feel better, but that's what he saw. That was the reality, that they're not righteous people, they're not doing good to their own people. The whole culture needs a revamp, the whole experience, the whole, and it's a painful subject and it's not talked about, but these young men are seeing it, they're living in these houses for more than a year. So we have to really pray and sing, and we should get to the song because it's quite painful when we think about there's a whole group of people that are being brought up in a very destructive way, and it's affecting our security and our own well-being. So we should sing something just to help us get out of it because it's pretty heavy stuff. Thank you, everyone. Stop. Thank you, man. I appreciate Anyway, we should all be blessed with only good news from all our soldiers, everyone. They should be saved from any more pain and hardship, and all of us. We should only hear good news, everyone. You should all, by all you guys, should only have good news and keep growing this beautiful community here. It's amazing. Thank you.